Hey, what's up guys, Turtleags here, bringing you another Lord of Dice Global video. Now, typically I film my videos beforehand and then upload it, but I decided to do something a little different. This time I'm actually going to be streaming all of my videos, but basically uploading and filming just as though I was filming on my own. That way, if in the middle of the video, if you have any questions for me, I can answer them for you. Now, for today, what I'm going to be doing is going over the new Anna Dice event that just released earlier this morning. Now, guys, I just, after, going through work and all that, I was just so anxious to get started with this. I think out of all the events that have been released so far, this Anna Dice event is probably my most favorite of all of them, and I will explain why in a moment. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So it looks like for the Anna Dice event, kind of like with the other events that we've had before, we're going to be having a cube that we need to obtain, and instead of feathers and candies, we'll be acquiring Anna emblems. That's kind of what it looks like here. I'm going to go over to the next banner here. Now Anna, as I will do so for, all the dicers here, I will be going over the Korean tier list rankings of all the new dicers that were released for this event. We have a total of 3 new dicers that were released, and one of them, Anna here in particular, is extremely good. Definitely top tier. If you guys have, extra, resources to splurge, I would say Anna is the dicer to go for. And I will go over her stats, her abilities, everything in a moment. Alright, and check out this artwork, guys. It looks so nice. I think that they did a fantastic job with designing this banner. She looks like such a badass. But anyways, moving on to... Oh, yes! So, guys, the reason why this event is my most favorite event is because of Raven. Raven is finally released. Now, for those of you who may not have finished the 14th floor in Infinity Tower, I'm going to try to avoid some spoilers here, but you guys can probably tell already that he does join your side. He's not necessarily on the exact same side as you, but during the course of the story, you probably got the vibe that good and evil is not as clear-cut as it looks. Initially, we thought, Raven and his gang were the evil ones, but actually there's an even greater evil that needs to be addressed. So at least for, the story so far, I've cleared up to the 16th floor. Looks like Raven has at least temporarily joined our side. We've joined forces trying to take on a greater evil that threatens the world that's in here. But anyways, guys, Raven has finally arrived. It says here, new master, hi. Raven has arrived. Raven launches powerful energy through his massive sword to the front 12 tiles. I will show you guys in a moment what his master skill attack looks like. And in my opinion, his master skill might even be better than Yuri's. And if you've watched one of my former videos in which I went over the the Japanese tier rankings for all the masters, I think they said like Yuri was top tier, followed by what's his name, Philip, followed by Clara, who's mid tier, and then Arthur and Armeri, who's bottom tier. They didn't rate Raven in that tier list. However, from what I'm gathering from his master skill percentage bonus attacks and counter attacks and whatnot, I do think that he definitely rivals Yuri, and I will go into more detail in a moment. So guys, if you can try to unlock Raven, he's definitely worth using. I'm going to be using him in PvP. Originally I was going to use Yuri, but I found out with Raven's master skill you can actually get an extra 1 to 2 tiles more tile damage on the Guardian, and I will explain that in a moment. Next, new PvE content. So we have Infinity Towers floors 17 and 18 now available. What mysteries will the new floors unlock about the Infinity Tower? Question mark. Okay. We got a new Dicer Rebirth. Liddy is now available. Utilize Dicer Rebirth for a chance to summon Liddy, a legendary superstar who wants to save the world. Now, I think in terms of PvP and raid content, you might not use her that much because her dice ability is kind of luck related and doesn't really, you can't really tweak it to your advantage. However, she does have one of the highest attack stats for a melee dicer, if not the highest, and I will show you her stats in a moment. We additionally also have a new dicer, Rowena, who is now available. This evil yet legendary dicer is the newest dicer to join the 5-star family, and so you can premium summon for her. And like I mentioned before, I will be going each of the 3 dicers, the Korean tier list rankings. I will go over their abilities, I'll go over their stats, and let you know if they are worth acquiring. Yeah, hey Snitchu, thanks for joining. For those of you guys tuning in, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this stream. Actually, I was originally going to film this as a video, but I figured, hey, you know what, let's make it fun. Let's film it in a stream format, but upload it in a kind of video package, if you will. So if you guys have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to ask me, or if you want to chime in like Snitchu did, please don't hesitate to do so. So for those of you guys who are just tuning in, I just wanted to begin by saying, out of all the events that have come out so far, this event, the Anna Dice event, is my favorite. Not just because Raven is added, and he's my most favorite character in this game. If you've been following the story real closely, Raven is just multi-dimensional and mysterious as well. And he's just such a cool character in design and personality and everything. Also, I'm excited for this event because one of my favorite new dicers, Anna, has just come out. For those of you guys who are aware of her Korean tier list rankings, she is probably one of the best, if not the best, dicers to be available in Lord of Dice Global. So for those of you guys who may have skipped Requiem or Lilith, those dicers, seems to me that the game is following, or Anna is following the trend of amazing dicers that can come out of the Dice event. Previous event, Saite was okay, but we couldn't understand what Chaos was, and he was a double D4 dicer, but in what's her name? In Anna's case, she is a D10 dicer, and she has amazing stats and abilities. Actually, stats I'm not sure if I have, but we'll check in a moment. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin by going over the Korean tier list for all the new dicers. So I'm going to begin with the Anna dicer. She is considered S tier in the Korean tier list, but she is like at the top of the S tier. As you can see here, she's useful for every single content you can imagine, just SS all around. I think her rankings are actually even higher than Kitsune, so if you can just imagine that. Now her movement skill increases damage by 20%, just flat out boosts her damage. Additionally, she adds a brand, kind of like what Diana and Dana did with their brands. The brand leaves a Bomber Whirlwind brand for 3 turns when fully charged, and what the brand does is its level increases and deals damage on the last turn if the enemy is struck by the relevant attack. Now, I don't know too much about brands. I've never really seen it activated before, but seems like her movement skill does a good deal. Now her battle skill is what really excites me. Destroys the dice with the highest roll from the enemy's double dicer. Now when I first read this ability, I wasn't so sure if I liked it or not because, okay, if you think about it, the double dicer is the highest roll you can have per die is 6. So I was thinking, like, what does that set her apart from other dicers? I thought about it more. It made me realize unless the opponent is using 3 D10 single dicers against you, you are definitely going to get bang for your buck with this battle skill. At the worst, you'll destroy, 4 or 5 rolls worth of damage, but if you get lucky, if say the opponent gets lucky and rolls a 6, you destroy that. Like their D6 dice are destroying their highest roll. So she is really good. Now, unfortunately, the wiki did not have her max evolution stats. I'll actually, I do plan on splurging for this event because I do like Anna as a dicer a lot. I think she has cool concept art, solid abilities, and I do need a better piercer in my team, so very excited to get her. I'm definitely going to get her, so I will let you guys know what the level 45 stats end up being. Now, moving on to Liddy, the Dicer Rebirth. Now, she's not very good in raids or breakthroughs, however, she is very good in PvP, and let's find out why. So her movement skill, oh, by the way, she's a melee. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention here. So, you know how last event the 3 dicers were all D4 double dicers? Well, for this event, all 3 dicers introduced, are all D10 single dicers. So something to consider. I feel like there aren't that many, or I personally don't have that many D10 dicers. I don't know if I just got unlucky or what, but so these guys are unique in that way. But anyway, so going over Liddy, movement skill becomes immune to bind slow for 2 turns. Moves 1 additional tile when fully charged. Interesting. Okay. That is interesting. So she could potentially move 7 spaces when fully charged. Surprise the opponent a little bit. First ability seems pretty useful during certain content. Now, for those of you guys who have been watching my guild PvP streams, you'll know that there are certain situations where you actually want to be bound or be slowed to deal that extra damage to the Guardian. Oh, that means another hit? Oh, okay. Yeah, so Snitchu just pointed out something here. So, an extra hit moves 1 additional tile when fully charged. Okay. I didn't know that. Good to know. And her battle skill, this is what makes her iffy. I think if she had a better battle skill, I'd be a lot more excited for her. Destroys all dice that rolled a 4. Now, I don't know if this... Actually, if it applies just to the opponent, that's actually pretty good. But if it also applies to you, which actually I kind of doubt now that I think about it, then, yeah, this is most likely the opponent. Yeah, otherwise her PvP ranking probably wouldn't be as high as it says here. So I'm assuming her battle skill, it destroys all the opponent's dice that rolled a 4. So even if it happens once, that's already pretty amazing. If it happens twice or 3 times, it can be a blowout. Now, one of the main incentives to unlock Liddy is, you probably notice if you look at your own melee dicers that their attack stats aren't that impressive. But in Liddy's case, at level 45, limit broken, she has 3,322 max attack. So yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, okay, so Snitchy is just clarifying here, this works for your dices too. Okay, so that does make the battle skill a lot more risky. But, you know, with her stats, I find her that she would be amazing in PvE content if you're just trying to, like, farm higher levels and just want to one-shot all the minions that are in your way. Liddy is worth investing. I would dice a rebirth for her even if you don't plan on using her in like PvP or raids. She is worth it because, well, she has cool artwork, but also her attack stats are good. I wouldn't really use her for her battle skill, and her movement skill abilities allow her to not be manipulated as much by environmental factors. finally, we have the mysterious Rowena. Now, I should say beforehand that for Anna as well as Liddy, which you can acquire from the cubes as well as the Dice of Rebirth respectively, they are considered S tier according to the Korean tier list, but for Rowena, she is considered A tier. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find her abilities or her stats on the wiki, so I don't really know what she does. And because she is a premium summon, so I don't know if anyone has her, and I'm not going to waste time on this video trying to find her. Maybe I'll upload in a later video. No. Anyways, so guys, what was I going to do next? Oh yeah, so I was going to go over, let's see, next. Okay, so I went over the Korean tier list rankings for new dicers. Okay, let's go over the new Master Raven and the Infinity Tower 17th and 18th floor. Now, after I finish filming this video, I will start another live stream in which I complete floors 17 and 18. I do want to unlock Raven by the end of tonight. That's going to take higher priority over guild PvP, for me at least. So as you can see over here in Infinity Tower, okay, I already completed floor 16, so 17 is already unlocked for me, ready to go. Looks like there is a story in there. Yeah, 17 and 18. So, very excited. I've been enjoying the story so far. I kind of wish that it was animated, kind of like in the trailers, but I really do enjoy the conversations. Now, for those of you who did watch my video clearing the 15th and 16th floor, you'll probably know that for some reason there was no voice acting in it. I hope that is not the case for 17th and 18th floor. Yeah, I'm just hoping that. Now going over the masters here, so if you kind of change over to here, okay, so Raven, in order to unlock him, you do have to clear the 18th floor. That is the final floor then for the Infinity Tower. For those of you guys who are starting this game, this floor might be a little tricky for you. You're more than welcome to watch my videos to see how I clear each floor. It's a little tricky. You do have to, you know, take the time to plan out your moves before you move. Otherwise, you'll just get obliterated by bunches of minions. And I would recommend, guys, to save up gold to unlock him. Actually, interestingly, prior to this event, I had a gut feeling that a new master could potentially come out because of the story from the 15th and 16th floor. So yeah, I have been saving my gold for this moment. I'm definitely going to be farming gold here. I recommend that you farm gold for this. If you are not sure how to farm for 4.5 mil gold, please check out my recent video on how to 100% clear the gold dungeon, the Peddler Fox gold dungeons. I pretty much show you my setup on how I build my team, what moves, what classes to use, move numbers I mean. Yeah, so do check out that video. If I had known that I would get 480k gold per run, I would have assembled my team a lot sooner. Yeah, let me go over his master skill, because it is really, I think it is really good. And I think the way the master skill looks, or is set up, you can actually catch an enemy who's not directly in front of you. So let me find him. How would I find him? I forgot how do I find him again? Oh, question mark. Okay. So let's go over Raven's critical and counter and compare him with the other masters currently available. So Raven deals 130% attack if won by 6 or higher. I think this is the best crit out of all of them. Because if you compare with Philip, Raven does an extra 10% attack for the same criteria. And if you look at the counter here, so counter deals to 85% attack if lost by 3 or lower. Okay, so if it's like a tight dice battle and you lose by 3 or lower, he will deal 85% attack. Which actually is, I think, better than Philip once again, because you have a wider window with which to lose and still get the counter off. So in this respect, I think Raven does beat Philip and does beat the rest of the masters in this regard. However, I do still think that Philip is probably the best master in the game, simply because his bomber ability, if you position correctly, he can deal 9 tiles of damage to the opponent, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah, 9 tiles worth of damage. And it's actually fairly easy to position your back directly in front of the boss. So once again, I do think Philip is number 1, but I do think Raven is slightly better than Yuri. Because, okay, like, I don't have a visual in front of me, but let's say you're in guild PvP and your opponent is walling you over here, and you enter the tile right in front of him and the guardian that you're trying to attack is behind. You can master skill and deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles worth of damage, as opposed to the 5 tiles. Oh no, she does 6 tiles too. Wait, no, 5, because this last tile wouldn't hit, I don't think. Yeah, so, and actually if you take one step back, like let's say there's a gap between you and the person walling you, you could catch the person walling you, yeah, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could deal 7 tiles of damage on the guardian behind. So you guys, for those of you who don't watch my stream, you're probably wondering, like, you know, what the heck is this guy talking about? But basically, what I'm trying to say is that Raven can deal more tiles worth of damage than Yuri can, and with greater flexibility. Because for you to get bang for your buck with Yuri, you have to be 1 tile between you and the guardian, no exceptions. But with Raven, you can either be 1 tile away from the guardian, or you can be 2 tiles away from the guardian and still beat out Yuri's tile potential. Yeah, plus I feel like in PvP, for instance, let's say you're going this way and the opponent's going that way, you can still catch the opponent off guard with a master skill in either direction. And if they decide to come close to you, well, then this tile right here, or even this tile right here, can hit them. I feel like with Raven, it's really hard to get around his master skill. It just takes proper positioning if you don't want to get hit by it. So I do think Raven is quite good. I think what I'll end up doing is have Philip for raids, and then I'll have yeah, so I'll use Philip for raids, and I'll use Raven for guild PvP, and that's my plan anyways. Alright, I think that, okay, so that's almost done. I just need to go over the packages. Now, not many new packages here. We do have the new Raven Pajama avatar, which his avatar, I think out of all of them, looks the coolest. I think the reason why Raven's hair is so red is because he eats lots of carrots. I don't know, that's my theory anyways. But yeah, so I think, guys, if there is one package for you to purchase, it would definitely be this one. Just because, from my understanding, there isn't really another way to acquire the Pajama avatar for both Raven as well as Yuri. Yeah, so for those of you guys who have a little bit to splurge with, I would get this first before anything else. And he does come with a nice effect in which Bomber Dicer HP plus 500. Now, I do not know if this effect stacks. Does anyone know? If I have 2 bombers on my team, do I get 1000 HP or do I get 500? I don't know the answer to that question, but I will test it out and let you guys know. Okay, so moving on to the next package. So following the theme of the Saite package, there are 2 different packages. One is the... Oh, okay, so Snitch, you just confirmed. Perfect. Actually, that gives me an even higher incentive, a greater incentive to use Philip in guild PvP, because I do run two bombers. Okay, so Anna's emblem package for this price right here, you get, mainly you're trying to get the emblems with this. I don't think this package is worth it. The package you do want to get instead is this one, if you're aiming for Anna and don't plan on doing a lot of premium summons, because these Anna shards right here, you probably need to open up like anywhere between 10 to 15 cubes to get this many shards. And that, let's see, if somehow you needed to get 10 cubes, that is, you would need to spend 20k gems on average to, or at the minimum, to get this many Anna shards. So is that right? I don't know. My luck is pretty bad, so maybe I'm way underestimating, but anyways, I think that this package is worth it. Alright, and what else was I gonna say? Okay, one thing I should mention, I know this is a little off topic, but in terms of purchasing the packages, these packages here, the monthly ones, they do reset on the 1st of each month. And so today is March 27th. On April 1st, these packages will refresh. So I think I've mentioned in a previous video, I'm trying to remember which one it was. Oh, on the Masters, I think. Was it the Masters? Oh no, it was the Rune video. In the Rune video, I was going over the 2 packages in which you can buy runes, and as you can see, I've bought them all. Out of all the packages, if you have, enough to splurge with, I would say definitely get the Rune packages before they reset next month. Especially if you have already, if you do plan on trying to accumulate 4 3-star what's it called, fortified beans. So the 3-star fortified bean, which was this package that I already bought, it offers, I think, 25% chance of fortifying your dicer. So if there's a dicer you really like Kitsune, that you want to 100% fortify, then you'll probably want to get 2 of these packages and then buy another 2 when the next month resets. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps it up now. So what I'll do is I'll end the stream, get this video uploaded, and for the next stream that I'll do, in maybe give me like a couple minutes, I'm going to be live streaming myself clearing the 17th and 18th floor of this tower. And you guys can see how tough it is. I thought 16th floor was already insane, but anyways guys, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching this stream. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I have new content coming your way. Take care guys.